All right, got that done. Got that done, and good. All right, well, I'm wearing the gray sweater. I've got my Weird Al seal of approval, close personal friend of Weird Al t-shirt there, which means it's an unedited note. Unedited notes, and this one is going to be a little bit more of a deep dive than my last ones, I think. This one, I reached out and asked people what was the weirdest album of all time, and really messed me up. And I'm surprised that what I considered the weirdest album wasn't actually listed down below. So I'm going to go through some of these and comment about it. Some of these were memes and, people trying to be funny, but I'm still going to talk about most of them. One that came up time and time again, I'm not surprised, was Trout Mask Replica by Captain Beefheart. Yeah, I mean, that one definitely will go down in time as being one of the weirdest albums of all. I've only listened to it maybe a handful of times, and I can't really remember too much about it. It's like a slippery fish. But we've got some really great ones as well. As I mentioned, some meme ones, some troll ones, like somebody was saying the Astonishing from Dream Theater. I wouldn't necessarily say that was one of the weirdest ones. I think that might have just been a misstep. We've got a number here from Matt O'Leary. I'll pump his channel right up there. The self-titled Mr. Bungle, which is actually a really tasty track. Yeah, very strange. Anything by Mr. Bungle is a good time if you want something weird. One that I haven't actually listened to, which is The Man, the King, the Girl by Deerhoof. So I might have to actually stop this afterwards and give that a listen. And then Trout Mask Replica, obvious pick, as he had said. Yep, I agree. It's one of those very obvious picks, so it's going to come up quite a bit as I scroll through these. Somebody's actually saying Lulu by Metallica and Lou Reed. Yeah, that was weird. I think now that we've kind of gotten used to it because, Lou Reed is a weird guy and he does a lot of weird music. And Metallica, they're usually, I actually really liked Lulu. I'm not saying it was a good project, but I did say that I had a good time when I was listening to it. So, yeah. Somebody's also saying... Amarok by Mike Oldfield being a weird one. Still one of their favorite pieces of music. And yeah, it's kind of the unofficial follow-up to Omadon, isn't it? I really like it, especially when we get into some of those spoken word aspects of this track. And it does do a little bit of callbacks. Like sonically, it's definitely a relative of Omadon. Not like a straight up sequel, but I could definitely see the adjunct of that. And yeah, I think it's Mike Oldfield's weirdest and more experimental one, especially for the 90s for him. And we have another Captain Beefheart Trout Mask replica. So yeah, there's that. The Nurse with Wound from Spiral Inasia. They linked the video there, released in 1986, so I haven't actually heard that one, so I'm not quite sure. Any Buckethead, especially if it's a Halloween album. Yeah, Buckethead just goes all over the place. Like if you want somebody that you'll never be able to keep up with his discography, Buckethead for sure is one. He's just a genius on the guitar, but because he puts out so much, there's going to be some really weird stuff. So yeah. The self-titled work by Mr. Bungle, California by Mr. Bungle for sure. Another one was David Lynch makes music, and one of his albums was Crazy Clown Time. Yeah, I know that he orchestrated and was one of the main supervisors of music within Twin Peaks, and I love Twin Peaks. It's one of my all-time favorite shows, and a lot of that is due to the musical atmosphere that Lynch brings to the table for sure. The Marriage of True Minds by Matmos, I think that's called. No, there's no S in that, so Matmos is pretty weird. So yeah, that's another one that I haven't quite checked out. Smile by Brian Wilson is another one that came up, and I wouldn't necessarily call that one all that weird. I'd call that one more experimental than weird. Because nobody was talking about any of the Syd Barrett albums, which I was very surprised. I was very surprised that nobody had brought up Syd Barrett's two albums, because those are pretty weird, especially when you compare it to Brian Wilson's Smile. But I think that those are more experimental than weird. And we have another one for Trout Mask Replica. Here's another one that I didn't know, and it's Benzatine by Osamu Kitcham. I think you're just putting these guys out there for me to try to trip over theirs. Again, I haven't quite heard that one. They're saying it might not be the weirdest of all time, but it is such a leap. Obscura from Gortguts. I mean, Gorguts is just a fun little name as a band. Mostro, yeah, by Morcobot. Wouldn't call it the weirdest, but it's got its moments. The third track sounds like they use squeaky bed frames as percussion. Yeah, that would. I haven't actually heard that one myself, so I don't know how to talk about that one. But definitely, probably a bit on the weird side for sure. And then the final one that I had was lots of weird stuff out there, but since nobody has said it yet, it would be either the live Tokyo Anal Dynamite or Showa by the yeah, that band. I have no idea how to even begin to pronounce that one. That's pretty intense there. Again, I haven't heard that one, so I'm not 100% sure about that one. The one that I was very excited nobody talked about was the Shags. And their album Philosophy of the World. For me, that's one of the weirdest albums. I actually love this album. It's one of those like critical darlings that I love, and more people are kind of coming out of the woodwork. Well, not more and more people, but like, you know, I remember Frank Zappa in an interview said that the Shags was better than the Beatles, and Kurt Cobain said that it was one of his personal favorites. The album is almost unlistenable because it's three girls that never really learned how to play the instruments that they were given. The dad basically financed the entire thing, and it is just balls to the wall insane. I love it. Like, there's a song called what is it? My Pal Foot, and it's just I can't help but love this track. I just really can't help. Yeah, and they've got a song called It's Halloween that I listen to on every Halloween. It's it's bonkers. It's my favorite weirdest album. And yeah, because it's almost unintentionally weird. Like, I feel like a lot of these tracks, a lot of these albums, like especially like Mr. Bungle and Captain Beefheart and all these other tracks, it's almost like they intentionally tried to make something weird. But you can tell the Shags with the Philosophy of the World, they didn't try to make a weird album. They tried to make a legitimate album, and it just happened to be really weird. So yeah, those are some of the weird albums that I found. What are some of the weird albums? And you can hear me clicking on my computer as I go back to what I was talking about before. Let me know if I didn't cover an album that you felt was really weird, because I want to listen to some really weird stuff. Let me know about some of those weird albums or weird songs. Comment down below. Let me know. Really mess us all up. I can't wait to kind of look through those and see what everybody's talking about. But yeah, that's about it. What did you guys think? Let me know. Any thoughts? Which album that was included? Did you think maybe not quite weird? What album didn't I talk about that you think I should have? All that right down below. You know what to do. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Love doing these unedited notes. Super easy to do and a lot of fun to do. And so yeah, that's about it. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, you guys are definitely the best. And until next time, notes out. Yeah.